Welcome back. You're with Sandy McNabb back in the nest with the Bower Birds. It's Monday night, and I'm my special guest tonight is Michael Ward. G'day, Michael.
Hey, Sandy. Thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Michael is a solo artist who sometimes gets other special band members together to do certain gigs, but we say hard working or hardly working?
Oh, hard gigging.
A troubadour in their kind of rootsy, old country, bluesy style.
Yeah, I like to think so.
That sounds about right. And thanks very much again, Michael, for coming down. We got you in between. It looks like a very busy gigging schedule, but you just reminded me you actually just bounced from Perth to all these different. You must do a lot of sort of kilometres in the car.
Oh, phenomenal. So we did for example, we did this weekend of gigs up in like the northwest, Onslow and Karratha, and we sort of bounced between those places and then came back. And we worked out it was the equivalent of like driving from Perth to Sydney, but we did like 4 shows in the space of that as well. So
yeah.
But look, I'm a country boy. I love country driving.
Stratham, right?
Yeah, down south, represent. So look, it's not a lot of skin off my nose to be in the wheel.
Sure, I guess that's part of the territory with what you're doing in a big state, such as WA. Michael, that first track was Steph Strings.
Yes.
With Antigone.
Yeah, see, I always used to call it Antigone, and then she's like, "Oh, I love Antigone," and I was like, I've been saying it wrong. But yeah, she's amazing. I'm very, very fortunate to have done some shows with Steph, and she's, in fact, we did her first ever WA shows with her, and then she's of course just like gone and just exploded, and I love watching the gigs that she's doing, and to like, I don't know, just cling onto a morsel scrap of like a part of that history. I'll cling to that for a long time.
You were there.
I was there.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about what's coming up?
Yeah, so Jonny and Andrew, I met them playing at a festival, a couple of years back. I like Jonny. He's got a really cool voice. He's not from Australia traditionally, and he's got some really cool songs. He actually just absolutely cleaned up at the Boy at Brook Country Music Awards. Right. Very topical. But
were you on the?
Nah. I don't know if I quite fit into the genre, or I just like flying under the radar. But that's cool. That's cool. But I toured with both of them last year, and Johnny's he's just such a nice guy. People love him to bits. He's got a wonderful voice. And Andrea just creates these tunes that just slap. We played the Duke of George.
Oh yeah.
And he got a vibe in that space that was just, I was very, very impressed. So big fan of these guys. Love Johnny's voice and what Andrew can create.
Nice. And that was Jonny Reid with A Bullet in Your Head and I Feel Fine.
It's a great song. Country songs tell a tale very often, and I like that one. That was good fun.
3 chords and the truth.
Totally.
Or 2 chords, whatever the 3 chords.
Whatever you need.
We were just talking off air a little bit about how you came to be, really a solo player, but who augments with other band members when you can. And there's an interesting story about how you sort of started with. I realised that the problem with bands is they're one member away from total annihilation.
Totally, very frustrating. I was on bass guitar for probably decades, really, and you feel like you're on a great project, having a lot of fun. The trajectory is looking great, and then someone has a fight, someone moves over east, or something happens, and you're back to square one, and all those gigs and work that you've kind of put in are shot. So that's kind of what led to this project.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
The next track is Andrew Swift with Full Head of Honey.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Andrew Swift?
Yeah, he's.
Sorry to interrupt. But I should mention most of these artists are West Australian.
A lot of these guys are. Yeah, Andrew's not. He's East Coast. He's I think 3-time Golden Guitar winner with Tamworth or something like that. Very, very acclaimed gentleman. But I really liked his professionalism. He taught me. I learned a lot from him touring with him, and just the way he kind of approaches music and dealing with his musicians and I guess the industry. But he's a guy that really slogged it out. He did a lot of gigs up and down the East Coast, just really grinding out his name, and I admire that kind of perseverance and dedication. and just that unwavering commitment to the cause. And he writes fantastic songs. He's an incredible singer. And yeah, this song, Head Full of Honey, it just slaps. And every time I've seen him play it, it just kind of gets a great groove on the crowd.
The next track, now I played this and I quite liked it.
Yeah.
Mitch Santiago.
Prodigy, man. He's 17. I think he's literally just finished high school. Triple J, love this guy, and I can see why. I don't know. He's so advanced. Like I envy this guy's talent. I've been playing music, trying to play music for like 30 years, and this guy's like 17 and just talented, but like incredible outlook, incredible voice. I played him to my partner, and she was just like, this guy's got a great voice. So gets a really good tone, uncompromising on what he's after, and he's a really nice kid too. I don't mean that condescendingly, but he's a really nice guy. Sorry.
I think some of these young, Uber musicians come out pretty fully formed these days, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe they're just immersed in the culture of it much more so than perhaps we were, or my generation. I'm probably an older generation than yourself, Michael. We pick things up very from the ether somehow, but there's so much content they come out with this amazing content at such a young age.
I think as well though, the access to information, the ability to learn what you want to learn is so much easier, I feel, now than before. So if you want to know like how some sort of compressor or mixer or get some sort of sound, there's 1,000 YouTubes on it. So if you want to dedicate the time to it and you've got some resources, I think you really can like go 100%. Like I didn't have the internet, man, until I was like 18. So it's a whole different league, but I think still to come out as impressive as what he is.
They probably would have always found their way through it, but it's a longer process. You kind of almost have to kind of pick. You learn something from a mate's brother who showed you what to do with an amp, and
a VHS tape.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, this is Mitch Santiago. The track is Seeing Straight. I love that. That was, up front there we had Mitch Santiago with Seeing Straight, that beautifully produced thing, lovely jangly guitars in it, and Sunday Lemonade with Countless Corners. It's another track I really enjoyed when I was playing through it yesterday. And I understand, Michael, that you sort of a bit of you put on your own gig. So you obviously, when you look at all the dates you're playing all over the place, very busy, but you're also coordinating, bringing bigger artists to WA. Tell us a bit about how that works. Yeah,
I enjoy putting on shows. It's kind of like this weird rush you get, kind of. You're basically pitching it to artists or to bands that you really like, and you get to build your favorite lineup. You get to have your favorite kind of local bands or whatever supporting these kind of really cool headliners that we can get in, and you hope you just don't lose money on it. And that's a lot of fun, but it's also been a really great way to network and to build kind of, I guess, with other artists. And
so they might return the favour at some point and hook you on a support or something.
I like to go into it pretty neutral. Like the joy for me is to kind of have a night. You kind of sit back of the venue. Like we do this a lot at the Indie Bar, Indian Ocean Hotel, and you sit at the back and like you look around, like everyone's just having an absolute blast, and you sort of feel like you helped create that space or that environment and those memories that all these people are going to have, because you kind of actually made an event happen. That may not have happened if it wasn't for you. So I get a lot of buzz out of that.
What sort of artists have you worked with to bring them over to Perth?
So look, Steph Strings was one of the first ones. I have done a similar thing with Andrew Swift, Sunday Lemonade, those guys there. Mitch Santiago's headline before. We got a guy called Gaudion coming up. We brought him over from over east, and this year 2024 we've got not that I can announce, but we're working with some really cool artists that are kind of in the mix for this kind of stuff. So. I love kind of testing the limit of who wants to talk to me.
And that's great. Well, I think it's a really exciting thing to do. I'm thrilled to hear that because it is tough out there. You've got to kind of make your own fun.
Yeah.
So if you're and it doesn't just it does not just fall in your hands.
Yeah.
You have to work your butt off to get anything at all. So well done on that. The next track is Antithesis. Is the artist, and the track is High Tide.
Yeah, this is cool, and this is going to be a little bit different in the set, so just bear with it. But there's something about this song I really can't put my finger on. It's got a really cool kind of 3/4 of the way through to ending, and I hope you guys all enjoy it because this track hit me well.
Sorry, we didn't talk about that track. Don't Want to Go Home from Sunny Day.
Yeah, so Brooke, I met Brooke like at an open mic many years ago down in Mandurah. Very, very talented singer-songwriter. Reminds me a lot of First Aid Kit, if you're familiar with them, or more domestically, Little Quirks. I think she's got an amazing voice. She's got a couple of tracks out. She picked up a WAM award, I think, last year as well. But she's got interesting stories to tell. And very, very passionate about her music, and so I've had the pleasure of doing a few shows with Brooke, and slash Sunny Day, depending on what she wants to call herself. And that's a fun track and one I've tried to emulate.
Make sure you can hashtag in these artists because they might not realise they're being played, but I'm sure
they do now. They do now.
Oh, good. Okay. Very, very modest, Michael. He didn't think it was necessary to play his own track, but I do. I think you need to put it in context. But the next track is the Quivers, which are a Perth band, I think.
Old school Perth band. So the pianist in this, as I actually met in high school. He was in my first original band, so he went on and formed the Quivers. He would have to be one of the most talented musicians I know. He now composes stuff for Tender Is the Night, like string compositions. Mm-hmm. He does piano, he does percussion, he does trumpet and horns and stuff. Incredibly talented guy. He's been generous enough to share some of his time and talent working with me in the early stages of this project. This song, You're Lost, I don't know, it's got kind of Nick Cave kind of vibes about it, and again, it's just another one that I really related to.
That was Gaudion.
Yeah.
Hazel.
Yeah, East Coast guy, very talented. I think he's over in Europe or something. He travels the world very well with music, his career. But I don't know, it's just great vibes. Admittedly, we booked him to come over and do one of the shows with us. And then my partner actually goes, "Oh, hey, have you heard of this Gaudion guy? He's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, that's who we've just kind of booked and secured for this." So it was good to kind of get the tick of approval from her. But that's a cool, fun song. And then these guys, Coolibah. There's so much cool. I'll call it surf rock with great respect because I'm a boomer and don't quite probably label it properly. But you got bands like Dice, Old Mervs, Humble Armada, and these guys, Coolibah, they all do these great sort of surf rock tracks.